Hello and welcome back to Stationeers. This is Venus. Well, we're starting right back where we left off because I don't want to waste any time letting this room get heated up before I start thinking very seriously about cooling this place down. And I say cooling it down, it's 20 degrees Celsius, so that's perfectly fine, but like I said, it's going to warm up. And I want to maintain a stable temperature in here. Well, in order to do that, we got to get a head start on getting the outside atmosphere down to 20 degrees. Now that's going to seem like a daunting feat, and well, to be perfectly honest, it is going to be a daunting feat. And I'm trying to turn my lamp on, and I don't have a lamp. Alright, let's put the suit back on. I also have a damaged suit, so I do need to also consider getting my tool manufactory up and going. Get a spare suit made. I should probably eat and drink though, shouldn't I? Probably a good idea. Right, where's food? I thought I had some food on the floor. No? Wait, what's under... Hey. You know what? Still sheets. I might need you. I might need you. Okay. Let's see. I won't need the pill, however. What are you? I had food in my... Never mind. Network analyzer, nah. Communications, nah. And I had water in my... Anyway, let's get that cleared out. Okay, still have my tape. Not much tape. Wow, I really do need to get that tool manufactory up and running, don't I? Let's see. I've got some copper that I can smelt. Right. Well, if I'm going to be doing some cooling, I probably am gonna need some air conditioners. I'm a fair ways off from a phase change setup, so see what we can do. I imagine I'm gonna need a fair amount of steel and silicon to get insulated tanks and such. How are we doing for temperature? You know, gonna need to hold on to that cold gas. Probably should think about transferring that over to there. Probably. So, here, let's put you into there. In fact, let's get all this up off the floor. The off chance that something catastrophic will happen. Let me get these filters. How are my filters doing? My filters are... That's kaput. Why do I have a... I don't know. But I'm going to use you up as well. Right. Yeah, we'll do this. Put the steel sheets there so I don't lose them. One cable. That's right. Let's run around like I don't know what I'm doing because, you know. All right, anyway. Yeah, let's get this cable picked up. Remove this vent. Right. Get a wrench. That picked up. We will pull you back out to there and replace you with some insulated pipe. And I will need to get over to here. Right. So you'll want to go over. How are we doing on pressure? We got plenty of pressure. Wondering if I should put some of this hotter gas back into here and degas everything else that I have. That might not be a bad idea. Yeah, no. The other keys. Yeah, there we go. Right. And we'll just wire this up to where I could just swap the volume pump around when I need to. Assuming that I have heavy cable, which I don't. Right. I put all the things in there because... Right. Right. Let's see. You know what? Let me put you guys there, just so I don't have to keep moving you around. So we've got... Okay, we have a little bit of cable makings. Let's make up all that into heavy cable, because why not? We'll need it. Out of curiosity, what does an Atmo need? It's going to need 10 iron, 5 gold, 20... Okay. Need to get some copper smelted. Shh. How am I doing for... Oh. I don't have gold. How am I doing for... This is all this... I mean, there's a decent amount of steel. I'm not going to lie. Means I need to get some frames a-going. That's iron. I want steel. Yeah. Give me some frames. So if we were to get this hooked up in such a manner as for me to be able to swap the this around. Cable cutters. No, what? Cable cutters. Right. So let's go ahead and get some warmer gas into there. How am I doing on power? Okay, I'm doing pretty good for power generation, even with just the wind turbines and that very basic solar panel. What I might end up doing is just not worrying about getting that hot enough to actually smelt the copper, but yeah. Now, I think on second thought, I'm not going to use up all the gold and the copper for heavy cable. Want to get some atmospherics unit going, and how much? That's not a lot of silicon, so I'm going to need to get a lot of silicon smelted. Right. Let's stop that there. Empty you out. How many frames am I going to need? Alright, well, let's see. How many coolers am I going to want in daisy chain and lines? See, let's see. We could start off with 4. We could have the output of the heat go into here. So I should be able to run some pipe along there.
Power low.
So if we stand out that way, we should be okay. I also need to think about getting some more APCs printed out. So, alright. If we did another 3x6, would that be enough? So I'm thinking have an insulated tank, have a cooling unit. So if we did that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, have another tank for, probably do this backwards, right? That way the final, yeah, so we'd have a tank and either way, it's not going to matter because I need the heat. I need the heat to come back into a tank for that. So I could just completely remove all of this and then move it somewhere else. That's what I really want to do. Because the cooling system is going to have two things that I want. The really hot gas for the furnace, and then the really cool gas for the for atmosphere, breathable atmosphere. Right. So what? 3x6 plus another 3x6 plus that's going to be a lot. So 18 plus 18 plus another 18 and change. That's going to need at least a couple of stacks. Well, actually, probably 3 stacks. Right. Well, we don't have to do everything all at once, right? I do have a fair amount of steel. I'm going to need a decent amount of insulated pipe. I'm going to need to think about liquidation or condensation of the pollutant and possibly the nitrous. If I go ahead and put a filter, and I filtered back into the furnace just volatiles and nitrous, that will give me super hot fuel to do the higher end smelting like steel and getting silicon done. And then the more usable stuff, the carbon dioxide, the nitrogen, the pollutant, that would go into the cooling chain. Now, eventually, the pollutant's going to go ahead and condense, which is fine, because I can start using phase change to my advantage, cooling stuff down. But that happens around, what? I think it's 151 degrees Celsius, if my memory is correct. At, slightly under 4 megapascals. So I've got a ways to go. But I say let's start off one step at a time. Let's also not assume that I have everything that I need. Put you in there. Gonna need iron. How much is that going to get me? I need more iron. Okay. Well, let's get you started then. Get me some atmospherics going. Oh. I have a decent amount of steel. Not steel. Iron. Right. Right. Okay. Also need to remind myself to get some steel sheets made. I'll probably want an airlock to go to the outside or to the next building, so I'll need a couple of doors. Alright, what if I get to two full stacks of steel frames? Okay, you're done there. Need more iron. I'm also going to need... What am I also going to need? I'm going to need stuff. Always going to need stuff. So let's see, it's 24. Need 6 more frames. So I'll wait for that. Right. I'll hold off on the steel sheets. I'll know I'll need some. Right, so if I initially do a filtration on this, well, first of all, let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. Okay, that's not tainted with anything that I don't need. Okay, so if I just filter in here for nitrous and volatiles, that will extract any oxygen that I make in degassing, plus the nitrogen, the carbon dioxide, and the pollutant, which there's a decent amount of, as far as ratios go, 41% pollutant. It's in the regular atmosphere. It's a very tiny amount. So, right. Well, oh, I forgot about these shelves. I can stage this stuff. Okay. I have enough to get a filtration unit up or a cooler. Which is more important right now? I don't know. Put that there. Maybe I need to focus on getting, you know, it'd be nice. A stacker would be nice. What is a stacker? And I can start chopping up the 2 copper. Do I got a copper? I don't have any. I got copper there, but right. Nothing in there. Here. Degas some copper if you've not already degassed. Thinking that's degassed. That's fine. That's okay. Which means you will not off-gas. You can't off-gas it if you're not already degassed, so that'll be fine. That'll spit the copper out. I probably should get the rest of this copper processed. Yeah. Right, so instead of spending so much time trying to reinvent the wheel, how about I get the other room laid out, then I can start thinking about installing my setup in as efficient a manner as possible. Then if I have to move things over, I can move things over. In the meantime, I'll just continue to degas and smelt, and because I need to get a lot more steel. You you done with the copper yet? Halfway through. How about we let you do that while I do this? Just one stacker. I'm not greedy. Well, I'm greedy, but bad things usually happen when I get greedy, like my suit gets punctured, which not cool. Right, so we got some iron sheets. We got some chutes. You know what? Let's get some silicon degassed. Let's get all this iron degassed. Nope. In there. Alright. So you... I want you to be set up. We'll just set you up right here. Get you connected in. Cable cutters. All this is going to get cleaned up eventually. Right. Now, let's see. Let's see. If I were to... Oh, I don't have the labeler on me. Yeah, so, how about... I'm at full power? How the... Is there a storm outside or something? There's a storm outside. Well, alright, I am so very glad that I got this station battery up and running. Heck yeah! Here, give me some silicon. Alright, where was I? Let's get back to this. Let's do 150. Get you turned on. Let's empty you out. Right. Mainly interested in the steel. So, what's left over? Okay. That'll get me 26 steel sheets, which is fine. Put you in there for no particular reason. Get you started going. Turn you off. All right. I am not hurting for power. That is awesome. So, now the downside is it's stormy outside. So, I have to be careful. Have to be careful. So what to do. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Figure it out. So, halfway through the silicon. Might as well grab all this stuff. Alright. So we're doing good. We're doing good. That's growing in there. I should probably think about automating the grow light, but for the moment, it's fine. It's not hurting nothing. How's my oxygen? Oxygen, it's getting consumed. My waste tank is not that bad at all. That's almost run its course. You done yet? You're getting close. Okay. This is just the hurry up and wait portion of the day. I need to seriously consider what I need going forward. I know I'm going to need gold. Storm over yet? Nope, still going. So I'm going to need gold. Well, I'm going to need gold. Probably should stock up on more copper. I'm doing okay for coal. If I am judicious with my coal, I don't think I need more coal for the solid fuel generator. So this can all be used for steel making. So if I can make a decent amount of steel, I should be set for steel for a while. Then once I get my setup for volatile production, I won't need to mine for coal again because I'll have charcoal, which I can use for steel making, and as an emergency backup power source, although not very power dense, but that's okay. That's okay. Oh yeah, I'm all set. Cool. Which is ironic since we're on a hot place. Right. So I'm going to need a boatload more iron then, huh? Okay. Right. So eventually I'm going to really need to think about getting Constantine and Invar Get printer upgrades. Right. Oh, but in the meantime, what do I need for the tool manufactory? Iron and copper. Well, I think I can do that. Grab me some iron. And yeah, give me one of those. What do I need for... I need gold and steel. Any gold in there? Ooh, got a decent amount of gold in there. Okay. Give me some of your gold. And I don't remember. I did not have any steel in there. So yeah, I'm down to basically 150 steel, which is going to get used up.
Power critical.
And my power's critical. Talking about power, I should have paid more attention to that. So one of the things I'm going to need then is give me some large portable batteries from a suit. I'm going to need some wireless batteries for all my tools. So yeah, wireless big batteries. You like lots of copper. Well, I don't blame you. The wireless batteries will also allow me to have a portable light that I don't need to worry about. So what's in my pants right now? Ah, that's where the... Right. So I've got all these little batteries that they're still useful, sort of. They're not ideal. So my thinking is I've got a large battery in there. I can use a wireless battery as a backup. But give me one more wireless battery. Which, that's all you were going to give me because I'm lacking copper. That's okay. That's okay. And I have no room in my suit. Let's get some more copper smelted. You go there. You come in here and do that. I will put that away. Right, now don't get greedy yet. You're still under power conservation, even though you've got a decent amount going. Okay, so you're completely degassed. For reals. And yes, I'm going to not keep track of all of that. So that's there. Let me pick this up off the floor. Let me grab the tool manufactory and get it. Put right there. Plenty of room. I could still put a stacker there if I needed to. That would get awfully crowded. Yeah. Let's see. Need some steel sheets. The welder. Right. Cable you up. Just enough cable for that. And I will need plastic sheets. And get the screwdriver. Get you all screwed up. And then, of course, we need to connect you to power. Because that's not the right cable. Right, I need things. I need things. Putting a wireless battery in there would probably also be a good idea. In fact, that's a great idea. Just have to remember to use you, which I'll forget. What do I need for a portable light? Oh, perfect. Give me one of those. I'm going to need printer upgrades for the rest. Okay, we need to get done with that. I'll need whatever cable you can give me? I don't think I have any spare cable to, well, to spare. Right, so let's see, that's trash. Gonna need you. Yeah, I'm gonna need you because eventually I'm gonna need to capture outside atmosphere. Now, I would prefer to have a nice big powered vent, but I don't think we're quite there yet. Here you are. Let's turn you off. Let's go grab that other wireless battery. Put you in there. Let's move you guys out the way. I'll put the data cartridge or the data disk there. Turn this off. Alright, now let's see. Normally I prefer to color the portable light, something like yellow, so it's a little softer on the eyes, but I will live with this. It's not quite as harsh as the spotlight, but certainly bright. Of course, in here, when we're dealing with the gray frames, the portable light is not that overly bright. Shadows are a little bit, but you know what? I'll put up with the inconvenience of that. Now, I need to put up the Omni charger. Tempted to put it near the battery. I'm tempted to put it in there. I might put it... I'm also tempted to put it closer to the airlock, so when I'm out there expanding the base... decisions. Let's keep it simple. We'll keep it near the battery so it's out of the way. And I don't have to think about it, because thinking is hard. Let's put it back there. So that'll give me a little bit of room here if I need it. Now, I could hook up the data to that side, to the solar input side, run a chip, and put a occupancy sensor. So when there's somebody in here, but then what if I'm in here and I still want that on? Don't overthink it. Don't overthink it. Let's continue to get some silicon going. So I'm gonna need all the silicon. How are we doing for pressure? Okay, so I have to be careful not to put in anything. I guess I don't really care if the silver gets done, do I? No. The question, okay, that's not going to be hot enough to smelt silver, but I don't care. I can use the arc furnace. I can use the arc furnace to smelt it into ingots. Just okay, and that had not been degassed. The only thing I need to be careful about is the cobalt. Yes, don't put the cobalt in. Not until I'm ready. Alright, that's a fair amount of stuff. Now, I also have to be mindful not to get to the point where things are going to start liquefying, or condensing, I should say, before I'm ready. I've got the liquid pipe, so that's going to hold a certain amount, but I don't have a setup to where if that gets overpressure, because of it may be too hot, that gets overpressured, I need to feed that back in to recondense. So I'm not quite set up for condensation. Not yet, but I'm close. Oh, 250. Oh. Ooh. Oh, I really want to get that working. Right. Right, so you're all degassed. Right. Let's get little battery out of my inventory. You're done? Should have brought some more over with me, silly. Right. You keep going. Right. So you're not set up as an airlock yet, are you? I should actually get that done sooner rather than later so I don't have the mistake that I did over there. Which, that really irritated me. Right. So what I'm going to need? I'm going to need a console. I'm going to need a sensor. Console and a sensor. Okay, I'm going to need an APC. Now, let's start with the APC, right? Type the word power. We've got area solder. Solder I can do. Solder is easy. Solder is a piece of cake. Well, actually, it's a piece of solder, but anyway. Actually, I'm going to grab a couple of those. I'll put one in the airlock, and I'll put one in my cooling deal, so it's on a separate circuit. I could use a transformer, but I think something as important as cooling, I probably really should consider having a power backup. Because if for whatever reason something catastrophic...
Hydration critical.
Right, something catastrophic happens, I want to be able to continue to cool things down. Let's see. I'll open you up. We will turn you on, and then voila, that's not connected. Right, I still need more cable. But now those events will work. Right. Cable. Gonna need more copper. How are we doing for copper? Copper, give me more cable. Need cable to hook you up. I need cable to hook you up. Now on the cooling loop, I'm gonna have what? That's busted. Why did you? But whoops. Well, you served your purpose. You served your purpose. Wow. Okay. You served your purpose. What? Right. Right. Let's get you completely hooked up then. Right. That's all connected. That's all connected. That's all connected. Okay, I can run power out there or up there or... Let's see, I can run a pipe, I can run a cable, and still have all these shelves here. Great. So if I turn you on, everything's on. Okay, so I'll need a console, I'll need a sensor. Having a battery charger in here would be nice, but not absolutely necessary at this point, so... Right. Actually, let's continue to get you ready. I'll still need more copper for that. Let's consider the console. Let's get the bits and bobbles made. I'll need an advanced airlock. Let's get you printed out. Glass. Do I have glass out here? I do have glass out here. Awesome. Right. Sensor. Yes, give me a sensor. Now, you know, if I put a sensor on that over there, the circuit with the grow light, I have a sensor there. I could have a chip read the vertical angle and then turn on and off the yeah. We'll Run out of sensors for that. Let me get this installed. Get you glassed up. Ouch. Get it in there. Right. You know, talking about getting things chipped up, programmed. How about get an editor board printed out and start thinking about getting a housing up. And then a circuit. Electrum. Gonna need to get some more Electrum made too. That's alright. As much as I would love to have a laptop, I would need to upgrade the printer, so gonna have to wait on that. But I've got the computer for the trade. I'll just utilize that. And you know what? How about we get a couple of those printed up? I can stick a spare one in my suit. In fact, why not program my suit? There's an idea. Get my suit programmed so when I'm out there, it'll turn the filter on and off and I don't have to think about it. That sounds brilliant to me. Of course, I'm going to have to keep a very close eye on my waste tank then. And, oh. My oxygen's going down. Pretty good clip, too. Are you done yet? That's one. Right. Let's see. We'll leave these out there. Don't need to be carried around this block of silicon. Right. Well, the computer's in there. I say, let's go figure it out. Can also take the suit off, get destinkified, we'll hydrate, do all that good stuff. Are you empty? No, you're a full bottle of water. Shoo, Okay, so we've got that there, right? And that actually has a battery in it. Oh, it's got a big cell on it. Great. So if I were to try to find the computer, there's the computer. And I can take the computer out once I'm done programming, so that's fine. And of course, I don't have enough cable to do what I need to do. So that's normal. Yeah. I know. I'm trying to multitask. I know it ain't easy to do. Right. So we'll take that off. We'll take that off. We'll grab some water. Right. Get you guys filled up. Food. Have a snack. Is there more food? There. Get all this emptied out. So I don't have much food I don't have left. How you doing on the tater? Barely growing. Let's turn you off. Let you rest. Right, okay. Let's scavenge you because why not? Let's see. We'll need you. We can put power and whatever on the same deal. If I remember, there's a housing there, silly. Right. So that will be nice. Chip. Chip? I was printing out the other chip. Where's the chip in there? Oh. I can't access it until I open you up. There we go. Now, if I were to put you back there, would you... Okay. That's kind of cool that it remembers. Take you back off since I need to destinkify. Put you there. Turn you on. Hello. Could you go over somewhere where I don't step on you? Alright. How are you doing? You're still on, right? Okay. That's not the thing that I wanted. No, that is the thing. It's sent up. Anyway. You fill up. How are we doing in here? 45%. You continue to reclaim. Not too much. And we're already gone up from 20 to 23 degrees up in here. So, yeah. I need to get cooling going faster than I would like. No time to waste. Of course, having you turned on, having APC in here, all that's generating heat. Plus, of course, the plant, the grow light, all of it's generating heat. Okay, the water's still at a perfectly good temperature, so that's nice. It will absorb some of the heat from the atmosphere in here. So that's... It's not an efficient heat sink, but it is a heat sink nevertheless. You're doing your thing. How are we doing in here? Still got a decent amount of O2, so that's fine. We've got a good percentage of nitrogen and CO2. Still a trace amount of pollutant. That, yeah. I guess that would be the only thing about Venus that is fairly forgiving, is the very trace amount of pollutant in the atmosphere. I don't want to make a habit of it, though. Right. Okay. Okay. I'm tempted to just go in there and start coding, but I don't want to leave this turned on and me start to suffocate. Right. Alright. So, first thing I want to do is the suit. Right, so if I alias the suit as DB, then I can just reference suit all the time instead of remembering what DB is, although DB is fairly straightforward. I want to define CO2. Now, what do I want it to be? It's going to be the ratio, the maximum ratio that I want on the suit. Yeah. Right. Right. Well, we could try 14%, right? We could try that. So 100% is 1. So 14% would be 0.14. So if I start, throw in a yield, load into R0 from the suit, the ratio carbon dioxide, and I set greater than into R0. If R0 is greater than CO2, then I will want to save to the suit. Yeah, suit. Now I need to Come on. Where's the suit? Hard suit. Hard suit. Right. So. It should be filtration if I'm not mistaken. Of course, everything's in alphabetical order, right? Right? Ah, filtration right there. Here we go. So, filtration. Ah, R0. Alright, so set filtration to that or that. And then jump to the start. That should work. Or I'll suffocate. One of the two. No, I don't want you to go to... Okay. Since I have a filtration unit hooked up, it defaulted to filtration. No, I want you IC housing compact. There we go. Thank you. Oh yeah, I could go ahead and get this coded up to where it will read... I can read from the input what the ratio of oxygen is, what the pressure is, and then that will turn you on and off. Yeah, maybe later. Maybe later. Let's see if this works. So if I were to do that, right, and then if I were to do that, and if I were to do that, okay. Okay. Now it's going to go on, off, but quite frankly, I don't see that as a downside. On the short term, it will work. And think about how much time that saves. I don't have to stop what I'm doing, hold the Alt key down, move the cursor over, click on it, wait 2 or 3 or 4 seconds, click on it again, and then go back to my business. It's completely automated. I don't have to worry about it. Now I could make the code fancier, right? I could go ahead and say, hey, when it gets down to a certain point, turn the filtration on, and then wait for it to get to a lower amount of CO2 ratio, and then turn it back off, so it it doesn't go on off on off on off. But that's a future thing. Right now, don't need to worry about that. What I do need to worry about is getting some stuff laid down. That's what I need to worry about. Like I said, time is of the essence, and I'm wasting time. Why did that turn off? Oh, maybe when I when I clicked into the circuit, it did something. So I need to also consider getting you on a separate circuit, so I can free up some. You know what? I've got. I can always print up another one. I can always print up another one. I can always print up another one. Right. I also need more cable, which means I need more copper, which just I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. You know what? You know what? You know what? I know what. Give me some more cable. So if I connect you there, have that go there, I should be able to clean up the majority of this cabling here, right? Right. And also, if I wanted to automate, just watched Mick on Cowser Evil do his updated printer logistics, which really, really cool to watch. And not gonna lie, it's hard not to use his code because, you know, he thinks in a very logical manner. Of course, I could probably try to do it cold turkey. Well, I mean, I didn't screw up the suit code, so it's a thought. Of course, if I'm going to do it my way, I might just keep it super simple and do something like, hey, minimum amount of ingots for each machine, irregardless of what's being printed. I mean, that's a thought. Right. Let's get you going. I'm gonna need some tape, which means I'm gonna need yeah, you're degassed. Let's get some more iron smelted. You're doing your thing. You don't like being interrupted, do you? No. That's fine. So, you're hooked up, you're ready to go. Got that there. If I turn you on error. So let's get you put into there. Let's get you. All right, what did I name you yet? No, you're still composite door. So what would I classify this area? If this is going to be the printer shop, then probably call this printer shop. Makes sense. Okay, that's inner door. What did I call this? I called this, let's see, let's look at the room, the panel, safe room. Right, so let's be a little bit more descriptive, I think. We'll call you workshop door, and then we'll call you, we'll call you Zakula. And it is going to be a room eventually. Yes. We'll call you inner vent, and we'll call you outer vent. And, oh, yes, I guess it would be helpful if I actually had a sensor here, wouldn't it? Right. Also could use a battery there. You know what? Even if it's one of the small batteries, it will be something. Yes. Probably should pick some up. Wow. Okay. It's a little bit of cable. Well, I said I needed cable. I think that's enough. You've done a great job. Just right. Okay. Right. Turn you on. Let's see. Cooler room is going to be the exterior. Workshop is the interior. Outer vent, exterior. Inner vent, interior. And gas sensor. Internal is going to be 0 at the moment. And then external is going to be... Oh, let's put it at... you know what? We could just leave it at that. We could leave it at that because there's plenty of pressure out there. It's not like Mars or even Europa. So if that's the case, that means that I should be able to take you out. Let me put you away. Right. Let me grab that. Grab that. Let's hit the button and see what happens. And I don't have to touch my filtration on my suit. Switch over to the welder. The very first thing we need to do is lay some frames down. Okay, that's still going to whoosh in. That's fine. Okay, you're underneath there. Let's get to weld these up to the first. Right. I need to clear away a lot of this stuff. That's fine. Let's get these laid down. I was thinking about 3x6. I could go wider. All right, let's not get. Let's just start with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and okay, we'll just kind of put them underneath here. All right. Kind of difficult to deal with. I don't need a flare gun. I need you. That's what I need. I also need you to be flat. So set flatten. And I am completely almost out of this. Whoa. Easy there. I just want to clear some terrain so I can lay down some frames. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Whoa. Don't do that. Whoa. Okay, this is going to be fun. Short bursts. Right, so... Right. Let's put you back there. Okay. Alright, so... Let's look at a... do I really want a roof? Do I really want to worry about enclosing this right now? Part of me says yes, part of me says don't worry about it so much. Oh, the decisions. Alright, let's assume that we want to put a roof on it at least. Right. Right. Okay, so I'll need 1, 7. We'll get this completely enclosed as well. So that will be 10. Now, if I put an airlock, let's say right here, so that'd be 1, 2, 3, plus 5. Okay, so at least another full stack of steel frames plus the oh yeah, because of that. Yeah. Yeah. All right. All right. All right. Well, that's the case. Let's get back inside. Or I could put down the very first atmospherics, which, actually, the more I think about it, I need room to come out. That's going to be an airlock. I could even put the airlock over here. It doesn't really matter that much. Yeah. So if I have a tank there, I will want probably cooling unit. I need to leave room.
Hunger caution.
For my hunger. But I need to leave room for cabling, of course. I'll also need to leave room for the pipes to interconnect, as well as condensation pipe coming back. So if I put you out here, that should give me plenty of room for both of those things. Right. Let's see. Get some cable in here. Get you all screwed up. Now that's going to be the next question: is the cabling? If I'm going to have multiple cooling units going, I'm going to need a way to transfer things. So we're talking pumps, possibly regulators to maintain the specified pressures. Do I go with the thin cable? That's going to be the question. I say, let's investigate that stuff. Using Stationpedia. Yeah. Let's do that. I have 30... Right, need more steel sheets. How are we doing for steel in there? We have no steel. We have no steel. We have no steel because we removed the steel. Right. I need more steel. Right. I think we're gonna have to get more copper going. I think I'm gonna have to deal with you sooner rather than later so I can get more steel. Right. Okay. 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 Well, if that's the case, I need to move you. So, assume that that is not the guest. Let's get you taken down. We can actually put you outside, I think. Yeah. So we'll put you there for the moment. Doors. Doors would be nice. I wanted a couple of doors. Yeah, give me a couple of those. So if I get the airlock set up out there. Even if I don't vacuum or seal off that area just yet, if I've got them, then I won't forget them. Well, until I forget them, then. But I'll still have them. Right. Turn you off. Let's get you there. Right. This chip I won't need for you for a moment. I've got, for whatever reason, well, that is iron, right? Yes, that's iron. I'll put the iron in here because why not? I should probably empty my waste tank, but not in here, of course. Let's not get sidetracked, though. No. Cable cutters. We'll get you out of the way. Let's see. Put you there. We'll get get you up. And we will make room for you. So if we put another atmospherics unit right there. And right. Grab you. So output 2 will be there. That's fine. Where was that volatiles filter? Is that in? That must be in the other room. Nope, it's in my backpack, silly. Right, but I need another atmospherics unit, so let's start with that. Of course, it does not strike me as ironic that I have a perfectly good atmospherics unit out there that I just put down. No. So we need all the usual suspects, don't we? So then why don't I just take them from you? Sure. Right. Not enough copper. I don't have copper there. I know you're degas. Let's get you going. Still doing pretty good for power. So that is nice. How much copper did I need? A fair amount. They are copper hungry. Right. Well, guess that means I should get this stuff degassed then, huh? Right. Right. You done yet? Are you done yet? Are you done yet? You know what I could do? I could start getting everything into ingots of 150. Now, you may ask, why bother doing that? Well, as far as the iron goes, 150 pairs perfectly with a full stack of coal to make 200 steel. So there's that. Yeah. So there's that. Just make sure that these are stacks of 50 so I don't... Okay, they are stacks of 50. Beyond that, easy number to remember. It's not as small as 50, but it's not humongous like 500 or even 300. So, yeah, maybe. Well, it's got the dial on the side. I can always change it. You done yet? I'm kind of in a hurry to hurry along. I'm also going to need some extra pipe. So, in the meantime, how are we doing for iron? I got plenty of iron in there. Okay. So, how about we get, oh, I don't know, stack? Get a stack. Close to a stack? Get close to a stack. Okay, so get you in there. Right. Get you into there. How are we doing? Right. Atmospherics. Give me one of those. Actually, no, print up a few of those. I'm gonna need them. Gonna need them. Gonna need them. Thought just struck me, and let's see. Let's put you in there, and let's get us some tape before I forget. Because let's learn how to type the word tape. Because apparently I forgot. Now, do I need 25 rolls of tape? Did I hurt myself with my suit before actually growing an actual potato? Yes, so I think that answers that question. Yeah. I'm going to say that that answers my question. Right. So, yeah, print up what you can. What are we? Okay, we're hurting for copper again. That's normal. So let's get you going then. Let's get you set down as a filtration. Right, let's get some of those into you. Let's get you all screwed up. Boom. And now, whoa, wrong key. Let's get you cabled up. Now, where is the easiest way to cable it? Probably here. I don't need the data. I mean, if I wanted to leave this in place, I probably would hook up the data and then automate some things. But right now, I just need you there, and I need an oxygen filter. Yes. No, not an oxygen filter. I need a nitrous filter. Yes, give me one of those. That way, no matter what I degas in here, it's going to retain the volatiles and the nitrous. And yeah, well, that is what I'm going to need. So let's turn you off. You're done. Let's turn you off. Let's put you in. And so now, double check. Still has not liquefied. Cool. Oh, that's a nice. Oh, so close. All right. So we turn you on. And okay, things are changing. Why is nitrous go? No, that. No,
Hunger critical.
But right. I got hooked up the wrong things to the wrong thing. I know how to play this game. I do. Honest. That's what I keep telling myself. Right. Yep. How about we try that again? How about you come up over here, you come up over there, and then we'll have you go back there, and then we'll have you go down there, and then back there. Right. I could just say, hey, I was just testing you, and you're like, no, I'm trying to do too much. Right, so now the filtered volatiles and N2O will then get to... Don't worry, I'll reclaim that eventually.
Hydration critical.
Trust me, everything goes critical at the same time. Okay. That's better. It's a small amount of nitrous, so I'm not going to worry about it too much. Right. So we'll just let you run your course. Yeah. Let's see. What am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing? Let's continue to get you going to do what you're doing with some iron. Well, oh, of course. Never mind. Put you in there. If you've come to see what not to do, you've joined the right place. How are you doing? You are moderately well. You're in darkness. Well, that's the way that's going to be. How are you doing? Okay, you've got a decent enough reserve. Let me open up my lid. Let me get you topped off. Yeah, air tank's critical. That's fine. You can eat. Wow. I ate a whole... Wow. I guess I was hungry. Right. Well, I've got the cable now. I guess I could go ahead and install... Let's see, if I did that, I could just put the sensor down right there. Right, so you're doing your thing, so put sensor there. That'll read sensor, and then figure out what the angle of the thing is, automatically turn that on and off. Yeah, I know there's something already planted there. Right. You just keep doing what you're doing, but do it better. I got plenty of water in there, so yeah, I don't need to worry about any of that stuff. You're getting topped off from there. How is everything in here? I could probably do you a little bit more. Because if my memory serves me correctly, the sweet spot for potatoes is like 75 kilopascals. I want to say 25 degrees is the sweet spot temperature-wise for the potatoes as well. I could be wrong on that. I could look it up, but eh. Right, I don't think I want to go below 30-ish% O2 in here. So that is topped off. Close our lid, release this. That bumps that up quite a bit, so yay. Right, right. Let's keep doing what we're doing. Speaking of which, how are you doing? Okay, that's coming right down. Right, that's perfect. Okay, that'll work. So I'm thinking, yes, it hurts. Power goes through the bottom, pipes go through the top. I think that's the best way to do that. Right. Right. So if we can get the majority of this out, that will lower the pressure quite a bit. We'll degas some cobalt. That'll give us plenty of volatiles. That'll make this super duper hot, which will give us plenty of heat to make steel. Yeah. That's what we'll do. That is what we will do. You keep doing that. Right. So grab that. We have doors. Volume pump there. Let's put that there. Let's put the tracker here so I don't have to keep carrying it around. We should get power out there so I don't have to think about that either. Right. So, that's power out to there. I was going to hook this up, wasn't I? Right. Let's do it from the other side. So, if only were to come here and then down there. Right. I can do that. I guess the real question is, am I going to worry about stackers right now? Let's say that I'm not, right? Let's say that I'm not worried about stackers right now. Where are cable cutters? Cable cutters are there. Right, you're off. So now if we were to come and do this... Right. Okay. I think that'll work. Right. Let's do that. Let's do that. We just need to get a cable there. So if I scavenge one from you, since this is not being automated at the moment, boom, which means I can now open you up, turn you on, put a battery inside of you, which a large battery would have been nice, but let's deal with a small battery. It's better than nothing. Right, so now you can still turn on and turn off and do your thing. Let's get you continuing on doing your thing. You're doing quite nicely. Right. So, we'll want that. We'll want that. Get low on juice in my welder. That's fine. So come out here. We'll lay out the airlock coming out of this little room. Whoosh. Right, so come in here, have an airlock there. That'll continue on here. Right, let's get you together. Right. Let's get them all laid out. There's no reason not to. Glad I didn't print out any more of the, yeah. Right. I've only got one sheet, so we'll do that. Let's get the doors placed. Again, I will want a composite door. And I don't have the plastic sheets of glass, which is fine. I do have an active vent, however, which I cannot place because of yeah. Right. Right, so steel sheets is the thing I'm going to need next. Get that thing all welded up. are you doing? Okay, hardly a dent. Just takes a while for it to do its thing. Of course, this is a nice big pressure as well. Right, so think about getting this transferred out. So right. Right. What's more important? Steel sheets or insulated pipe? That's the rub, isn't it? Yeah, let's do insulated pipe. Let's see. Let's put you there. Should probably put a locker out there so I can store some of this stuff. I'm also going to need to deal with a recycler, centrifuge. Now, since we don't have fuel, a fuel centrifuge is kind of, well, useless. But we still have a decent amount of power, so that is something to consider. Not to mention that it'll be a good first step of getting things done. And it's not like I have a huge amount of reagent, or not reagent. I'll get it in a second. Biomass. So I'll probably have to set up 2 centrifuges. One to reclaim any of the resources from my trash. And then obviously one dedicated for the production of volatiles. Now, since I have a virtually unlimited supply of nitrogen in the atmosphere, it's not a huge priority to get a composter up. Now, the advantage, obviously, of a composter is you get nitrogen along with the volatiles, but more importantly, in this situation, you get fertilizer. So, yes. Grab that steel. I do not need that much. If I were to decrease this to, say, if I were to say 25, right? How about 30? I could do 30, right? I could do 30. And that will give me, what is left over? All right, 15. So I throw you in there and say, give me some steel sheets. You'll give me 30 steel sheets. Well, it's a start. Right, and now you'll be headed that way. I'm gonna need insulated tanks. Okay, actually, ironically enough, it doesn't take a boatload of copper. It takes a boatload of silicon and a decent amount of steel. Right, well, let's see how we're doing for silicon. Actually, we're doing okay for silicon over here. And, of course, I'll grab a stack of this for that. How many of those can you give me? You can give me 1 because of the steel. This is all the steel I have. I'm banking on this working. Now this, huge air quotes, should work just fine. Am I willing to risk it? I still do have some fuel left in the fuel canister in there. You see the conundrum, right? You see how easy it is to get down into this quagmire of indecision. Yes. Is it absolutely necessary to get that completely closed off and evacuated? It would be nice, because that would save on my oxygen consumption in my suit, which I have not completely fixed by a huge amount of crop production. So, let's turn you off. We'll grab you so we can put you out there. We can position everybody into its proper location. How are you doing? I also need to consider that I want to max my... Oh, wow. Right, because it's a separate thing, and we don't have a pump to circulate stuff through. Right. Well, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. What if we were to do this? Are you already degassed? Kind of looks like it, huh? This is probably the degas. All right, what about you? Same thing. Well, let's turn you off then to save power and the filter, because no reason not to use you up. Should I bump you up to 300 then? I'm wondering. If I bump you up to 300, I can use 2 stacks of coal with 1 stack of 300 iron. That might be the way to do it. Yeah, that actually might be the way to do it. Then get more steel taken care of. So let's turn you off. Pick up all of you. Condense you there. Get you going. So I'm going to need a lot more iron. Right. Just that should already be degassed, you silly bugger. Yeah. Like I said, it does nothing to be on the safe side, right? It's a lot easier just to wait for it to pop out with it not affecting anything rather than the potential of gassing ourselves. Hi. You done yet? You done yet? How about now? You done yet now? Now? How about now? Right. Yes, I'm doing everything I can to avoid going out there. Okay. Let's get you there and there. So that is 300. Okay, you're 50, you're 50. So that is going to be 1 recipe of steel. Right. So if I were to put you down there, we get another 300, another 300, we'll have, oh, that would be plenty of, I say plenty of steel until it's not plenty of steel, right? Right. So you're doing your thing, you've done your thing. So I will hold off trying to degas any of this until I've got plenty of iron. Yes. Yes. Which means I've got to go mining because I'm going to need a lot more gold as well. Gold and iron. A fair bit more nickel, I think, so I can think about getting constant and Invar smelted as well. Yes. What I may have to do, though, is get you transferred into a different setup. That's quite possible. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Let's, yeah, let's see how far these sheets can go. I don't think they will go as far as I would like them to. But we shall see. Yeah. Under... Whoosh. Alright, let's get this complete. Oh, and I forgot the plastic. Oh well. Let's get you completely sealed up at least, right? That way I don't have to think about you. Since I'm here, let me place some, yeah, I'm gonna do something a little different, I think. I want to do a double airlock here to separate the atmospherics. In case this goes boom, it probably won't help, but we'll see. We'll see. All right. All right. Well, we'll get this at least welded up to a single stage, so when the next storm hits, stuff that may be loose, which shouldn't be loose, but you know, may be loose, won't be flying out as quickly as it would normally would. And my battery is almost completely kaput. One more. Can you do one more? No, you can't do the last one. Of course you can't do the last one. That's alright though. We will swap this around. Now, here's another tip that I found, and I found it out the hard way. You know how normally you would go up here, especially in your suit, and you would grab it and you would try to fumble it into the place that you wanted to swap out with the battery? Well, guess what happens when you don't quite make it, or the game decides to think that you've dropped something? Well, now your tool, or possibly your suit, no longer has a battery in it. And yeah, if it's a tool, no big deal, unless you're in a storm, then that could be a very big deal. But more importantly, if it's your suit, well, that could be a very bad deal. So instead of grabbing from your tool or your suit, if you grab from the place you want to take the battery from, and you drop it, well, nothing's going to happen, right? Or at the very least, it will drop on the ground. If you go ahead and... where'd the blooming thing go? If you're successful, then everything's fine. At the very least, the battery in your suit stays in your suit, not on the floor. No, just food for thought. It's rare that it happens, but it does happen. Alright, well, let's get this... starting to get this sealed then, because, yeah, it would be nice not having to waste all my oxygens. Right, you're doing your thing. Right, let's start swapping batteries out. Right. And I'm out of sheets, which I should have... Right. Never said I was smart. Nope, nope, can't accuse me of that. I could go ahead and excavate that out a little bit more, but you know what? I need to start thinking about where I'm going to put you. Right. Now, do I line you up? If I put you in the center like I want to do, Or do I offset you to be in line with the front or the back? Because that might save me a pipe or two. Which doesn't seem like a lot, but it could be significant. So let's try this. Before I charge anything with atmosphere or with gas, I can always move things around. So the idea is you're going to cool whatever's in here, and the output's going to be heat. So what am I going to do with that heat? It's going to be one of two things. I'm going to actually get rid of the heat in the atmosphere, assuming it's hotter than the atmosphere, or I'm going to harvest that heat into my degassing situation. So I may... So all right. How am I going to do that? I could do direct, right? So we could go ahead and have that hooked directly to the furnace. Or I could use a heat exchanger. Now the heat exchanger may take a bit longer to transfer the heat than you might like. So maybe to start off with, I just do a direct plug it into the furnace. Now, if that is the case, I'm probably going to want to punch out this wall and frame around it to do the furnace. Because it's going to be cramped in here with all these units in here. I'm going to definitely want to daisy chain these. Because I don't think one unit's going to... It's not going to cut it. It's just not going to cut it. But the more I'm standing out here in this environment, the worse off I am. So how about I get you hooked up? Now, the room thing. So, okay, before we get too far into it, so let's see. Do I run the cables here, or do I run the cables here? Because I can't run the cables here, but how compact can I get this? So, if I come off of here and have some condensing valves attached, so assuming this gets cold enough to where the pollutant and or the nitrous, if there is any nitrous, which I'll do my best to keep the nitrous out, but you saw how that went. Right. So anything that could condense is going to need to go into an insulated liquid pipe and then go to another apparatus, probably with phase change chambers and such. We'll see. Could be at the very beginning simple purge valve just to keep the pressure in the pipe down and then facilitate the cooling of the liquid, which anyway, let's not go there just yet. So I'll need room here. I can go vertical like so, right? Put the valve here, have it connected to a liquid pipe, have the liquid pipe go across the ceiling somewhere else in this room to possibly a liquid tank maybe, if I get enough liquid. Got to future-proof this stuff, right? Well, you don't have to, but probably would be better. Now, if that's the case, and I need to run cable, I could actually move this whole unit in one by one, couldn't I? Right. Because what I want to do is, if I'm daisy chaining, I'll want one unit to be full of, say, oh, I don't know, what does pollutant usually go for? So anything like above 5 megapascals, right? So if we have this at 5, I need a way to fill up this one or the next one, wherever I put it. So probably link these together with pumps or valves. Could do regulator valves, right? Yes. So if I do a pressure regulator from here to the next one, That will maintain a particular whatever I set the pressure to. That, and of course I can turn them on and off as needed. That's probably not a horrible idea. Yes. So that would be in line here, right? So let's just grab a wrench. So that will come along here. You will then need to connect into there somewhere. So I'll need to figure out where I put the... Okay, yeah, I think I'm just going to move this whole thing in one. Yeah, I think that's exactly what I'm going to do. Let's do that. Which means that can come out that way, and that can go in that way. Right. What do I need to get rid of that? I need a hand drill. Hand drill to get cables out, of course. And then I need a wrench. Get those out. And then what do I need? I need a hand drill again. To get that. Right, so now we go in there. Let's see. We put the pipes back in and we screw in the cabling. Right, so cabling can kind of run out here. And then, let's see. Put an APC there. Now, I don't know how much these things are going to draw. If I have multiple units, my instincts tell me, let's just do it right the first time, put heavy cable in. I could be wrong. I mean, I probably am wrong, but if we put in the heavy cable, then I don't ever have to really worry about it, right? 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 So we need more gold. I need valves. How many valves am I going to need? Well, if we're talking just pollutant, with the small amount of pollutant in the atmosphere, that's not that big a deal. The potential larger amount of pollutant in coming off of the furnace, that could be a big deal. So if I did 3 to start off with, see how that went? Yeah, we could do that. We could do that. Right. That. Right. Okay, iron and copper. That's not horrible. How many am I gonna? I'm gonna need to. I'm gonna need a fair amount, I think. Here, have some more of that. Steel. Did I put heavy? No, I don't have more steel in there. Okay, give me another 60 sheets if you don't mind. Blech. Right, so I need condensing valves like crazy. How many coolers am I gonna have? Okay, if I'm thinking worst case scenario, I'm not gonna have degassed cold gas, or not gonna have cold gas from the degasser. So if we're talking pulling in straight atmosphere from outside, that's like what, 464 some odd degrees Celsius. So after every cooling unit, there's gonna be a differential in temperature, right? So whatever that temperature differential is, that's what's going to dictate how many units I have, right? Right. So let's say, just for the sake of argument, my goal was to get down to 20 degrees Celsius, right? Okay. So 464 minus 20, that leaves me with 444. And let's just say, for the sake of argument, not that this is accurate or anything, that we have a 100-degree difference in temperature between the units. Now, that's possible, I think, but I think it's shorter than that. But let's just say 100. Well, 100 into 444 is, well, as you can tell, at least 4 units, possibly 5. And that's from outside atmospheric temperature. If we're talking about the colder gas from the degasser, that trip is going to be a lot shorter, I think. So probably the best way to handle this is going to be do it one step at a time. So we'll get the first atmospheric unit up and running. We'll get the cooling going for that with the reclaimed gas from the degasser. And we'll see how well that goes. Now there's a thought. There's a thought. What if I don't pump in the cold gas from the degasser? What if that tank over there is the heat sink? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Right.
Hydration critical.
Hydration's critical. Well, you'll have to remain critical for the moment. So if we move this entire setup out there after I get some more steel made, a lot more steel made. If we do that, okay. Yeah. Yeah, so we go ahead and make our steel. If we can make Constantan and or Invar, that would be nice, but I think at this point, not absolutely necessary. The steel, most definitely. Get some steel, get some gold, more silicon if I can do it. Obviously some more copper. Well, more of all the basics, right? Doing really good on solder, not so hot on electrum. But, right. Let's get you turned off. Speaking of gold, I've got that much gold. How much heavy cable can you give me? Not as much as I would like you to. Well, give me that much. We'll go from there. So, okay, I have a plan. Probably not a good plan, but it's a plan. How we... Okay, we're... No! Why did you... Okay. Why did you die? All right. That's why we only planted one. I'm going to leave you as a reminder. Okay. I'm going to have to keep a closer eye on this. I'm going to need to automate you. I need to get that sensor out there. Do you get the chip in there? Program you to go on and off. Oh, this is not good. This is very not good. This is bad. Okay. Right. Well, I think we've learned something today. we've learned that we're in trouble. Oh boy, are we in trouble. Here, why don't you take that? And then I will take my suit off, because why not? I will get a drink of water. I will eat a piece of my dwindling food. I will ponder on the frivolity of my existence. Right. Right. Okay. Well, I think that's about it for today. Right. So, I'll catch you next time. And as always, although challenges can be fun, don't ever having fun be a challenge. See ya.